Stock Talk. This is your host, Scott. Hope you had a good rest of your week in the short trading week that we had this past week. We're closed for Good Friday. We had a really good week in the portfolio this week and did unload one of our big losers and still had a good week. So happy that we could get out of that one. We'll talk about that as we look at the portfolio. I appreciate all the subscriptions that we've had lately. Had a pretty good week of subscriptions. And ask you, if you have not subscribed, go ahead and click that subscribe button and get that done today if you can. If you like the videos, don't forget to smash the like button. But as far as the year so far, we're having a pretty good year. We are beating everything except for the Dow has actually passed us this last couple of weeks. The Dow has been on a tear, while the NASDAQ and S&P, especially the NASDAQ, has pulled back. But we've been adding to our portfolios, IRAs, cash accounts. Matter of fact, we're about as far in as I've been in a long time. Only sitting on about 8.61% cash now. So we are what I consider pretty much all in right now. And but we are sitting on several green ones, and we may be unloading some of those next week, depending on how well they do. We'll talk about that as we look at the portfolio as well. So let's go ahead and jump over and look at that portfolio. Okay, so here's our portfolio. You're going to see a couple of new ones on our portfolio that were not there last time we were on. This ARKX and ARKK. Those are two ETFs that are managed by Kathy Woods, I believe that's their name. If you watch any of the stock shows, you'll hear her name a lot. And what I've watched, I kind of like her thinking on some of these things. She's not afraid to get out there and go out on a limb on some of these stocks that she buys, things like Tesla. She's big into Bitcoin as well. So I kind of like their outfit there. So went ahead and jumped on some of those. They're going to be in those high growth stocks like Tesla and a lot of those that we see in the NASDAQ that have been pulling back. So she hasn't looked like a real genius here lately, but the portfolios have done well over time. So I'm gonna kind of nibble at these a little bit to get a little bit more exposure, a little bit less probably volatility than just having the single stocks. But we do have some of those as well. So, but anyway, we bought those two in one IRA because we have a little bit more extra cash in that IRA. So we bought the ARK there for $20.54. This one here at the very top, and then we bought this one here, the ARKK, for we bought it for $113.80. So we got that at a pretty good price a couple of days before Thursday, I think it was. So, but let's go ahead and we'll just take a look at the charts on those things and just kind of see what they've done over the last month or so. Let's go ahead and pull that up here. So here's your chart for the month, a nice upward trend. The last 5 days pretty good as well. Let's see what the last year looks like. So I don't see that's not a good chart. So it must be maybe a fairly new out ETF. So, but so here we do have a good little trend going. So good for that one. I think this one is probably newer than the other one. So let's take a look at the other one and see what we can find there. ARKK. And here's that. You can see the 1 day chart there. It did have a really good day starting out, and then it pulled back some. 5 day chart, you see a little good pop here. We bought it around here Tuesday or Wednesday. It might have been Thursday. Let's see. We bought 113. So we probably bought on this day here. Don't remember the exact date. And so the month chart, downward trend. You can see here it's kind of following that NASDAQ and its pullbacks. Did have a good run there on a 6-month chart. 1 year chart, you can see it's pulled back with the NASDAQ, so that's kind of expected. Watch these two Monday. There's some good news out on Tesla. We'll talk about that in just a minute. So be looking for that. MSTR had a good little pop this past Thursday. I want to say Friday, but it was Thursday. So actually was really up good for the day and kind of pulled back, but got all the way up here to 170, 725, and they pulled back all the way down to 703. Still had a good day. I mean, good 3% up. That one had been getting beat up in the last couple of weeks, and now it's last week was a pretty good little week. But you can see here it's up and down, up and down. This is MicroStrategies. They are the ones that are holding all the Bitcoin that in their treasury. So that's kind of why we got that as an exposure to Bitcoin within the IRAs. Apple, Apple's, I think it was green Friday, Thursday as well. Just started out a lot better and it sold off towards the end of the day. 5-day chart on that one does look a good trend upwards. Did have a little down day here and then came right back. So Apple, of course, everybody knows Apple. That's a good one to hold in any portfolio. Square had a pretty good day as well, up a little bit. All of these started out really strong, and then towards the end of the day, it sold off. That's pretty much what happened to every one of these stocks. But they did start out really good for the day, and then it kind of settled down towards the end of the day. Everybody treated that Thursday as a Friday. Tesla ended up in the red, but it was actually up really good. For at the beginning of the day, its high was 692. You see how much it pulled back and ended up down a little bit for the day, only less than 1%. But look out for this one Monday. There's some good news on this one as far as the deliveries of the automobiles in the first quarter. You'll see that they did beat expectations on that. So look for a good pop on Tesla Monday. Hopefully, we'll hope that does follow the news, and the news is good. So we'll be watching that real close come Monday. That's one of those that we're sitting in the green on that we could get out of pretty soon if we choose to do so. I don't know. I'm kind of on a toss up there. We'll talk about why here in just a minute, a little bit more. But you see this downward trend here. It sold off just like everything else did on Thursday. But let's see what we've got. A 5-day chart. You see a good little lift there. And it really was having a nice day and then managed to sell it off. The 1 month, much like all these other ones that are in the NASDAQ, you can see the gaps down and then pulls backs up. So, but overall, Tesla's not going anywhere. This one recently was $900. So hopefully it'll get it back up there. I would like, I might be interested in selling somewhere around 8. It did get up to 692. I mean, yes, 8 where I'd like to sell. But it did get up to 692, almost hit 7 that Friday, which would have been real nice. Get over that 7 hump. U.S. Steel did pull back a little bit, but still $25. Too high for me to get into it right now. But it's been doing pretty good with all this infrastructure talk. I knew that it would, and we did sell it recently. So, but it is not back in my buying range yet. Maybe 22 or 21. But I prefer 20 to 17. But we'll have to just keep an eye on that one because it sure has done good here lately. All the steel stocks have all that infrastructure talk. PayPal had a pretty good day. That's been another one that was up Friday, as you can see, or Thursday, and then pulled back, just like all the rest of them. It's going to be a similar chart. 5-day, you look at the 1 month, you see the gaps. Very similar charts on all these that are in the NASDAQ. They definitely track the NASDAQ. All right, so we got HUT MF. That one had a pretty good week, I believe. Let me take a look at the 5-day chart on that one. I think we actually had a good little week on that one. Yeah, not too bad. It did for the week. You're talking about 724 to 787. It's not bad. So that's a good little pop there. We'll get out of that one just as soon as we get about 6% on it. I've already traded it once. And Novavax had a good day. And it did, see, you can see it got all the way up here to 189.76 in this spike here. Then it pulled back like everything else. But what I really liked about Novavax is it did manage to even pull back up towards the end of the day. We are waiting on news on this one, all kinds of news that could be coming across the line there. Just good article here. The vaccine stock is a money-making machine. We'll see. That's kind of what I'm thinking, especially if all these approvals go through, that it is going to be a money-making machine. And we did buy some more of that this past week too. So added the Novavax at 177. So we did good on that so far. Yeah, so we did add to that in both IRAs, and may have added a little bit in the cash account. We are completely 100%, just or 99% in on the cash account, so no room to buy anything else. And the reason I'm doing it is because I just don't think you can beat the Fed. These markets just seem to keep going up, and the Novavax has just had a little. I mean, the Nasdaq has had a little bit of a pullback, but I think it's going to turn around this coming week. We'll watch it and see. Tesla's going to give it a good kickstart, I think, Monday as well with the news on Tesla. SPCE, that's Virgin Galactic. Hasn't been real happy with that one. Not happy with where we bought it at, especially. But you can see it has pulled back a little bit. 1 month chart down, 6-month chart. You can see we had a nice little run here, and this is, I think we bought in the 40 somewhere, so we're down a good ways on that one right now. So we'll just hold on to it. There's no, I mean, I'm not worried too much about it. Maybe a longer term hold. Now this one here is the one we finally got rid of this past week. I'm very disappointed with that one. We took a 53% loss across the board, and even though we took that big loss for the year, it didn't hurt us, but too bad. I mean, it was a pretty good loss. It was across all three accounts. It was a nice stake in all three accounts, so we took a good hit in all three accounts on this one stock, and that happens to you sometimes. And I normally don't sell. I normally just hang on to things, and if you watch any other channels about stocks, that's definitely a no-no as far as most of them are concerned. But just for me, I just found it's just stay stubborn on a lot of these things. They do pull back up, but didn't really have any confidence in that one. And it will go back up one day when the markets are crazy and they're going down. And I don't know what will happen in between then and that, now and then. But it's definitely on a downward trend. I got tired of just watching it, and I wanted to put that half that money that's left. I wanted to put it in some other things that I know are going to probably do pretty good, and things like Tesla, things we bought this week as well. So anyway, that's not something I normally do. It is now, that is my top loser for the year by far. And but even for the month, we closed out as far as what we pocketed for the month. Still a very good month for what we pocketed, even including the loss of that one stock. But not something I like to do. Not something I like to do at all. But sometimes you just tuck your tail and go home. So that's what we ended up doing with this one. But got a lot of winners. One or two losers is not too bad. We don't worry about it. Just move forward. SH is still going down, but this one is doing what I expected to do. That was a problem with that UVXY. It didn't do what I was expecting it to do. But this one here is doing exactly what I'm expecting it to do. When the S&P is going up, this one's going to go down. So you can see the S&P had a good week last week. This one's down. All right. For the month, the S&P is probably up for the month. This one's down. and not only is it down, it's down probably very close to the same percentage that the S&P is up. So that's what I expect. As long as the thing's doing what I expect it to do, that's okay. So when the S&P ends up going down the road, this one's going to come back up, and we're going to be fine on this one. But that other one, I couldn't make heads or tails of what the thing was doing, because the VIX would be up, and that thing would not be reflecting the VIX like it's supposed to, and it's supposed to actually be, even leveraged, which means it should be even more sensitive than the VIX. But I didn't see it, so we just got out of it. Don't trust it. Tilray down a little bit, not much. A lot of talk about pot. New York's trying to pass a law to legalize it recreational, so that's got pot in the news. But you can see here 5 days pretty flat, really, and so nothing really going on with Tilray. We are a big loser on that one right now, but we'll hold it 2 years just like we did last time. It's a big loser on what we're holding, but this is the top winner, I believe, for the year so far on what we sold. So here's the other one that's has me deeply concerned. Nikola, this is the electric truck company. See some news where the ex founder, CEO, whatever you want to call it, sold uh, sold his shares. Yeah, founder sells shares of for 49 million. So uh, that's probably not going to be good news. You're probably going to see this one red Monday. We'll see. Uh, I don't know if it's going to be red or not, but I would suspect. But anytime insiders sell and it's on the news ticket, you'll see a lot of times these stocks will drop, and you're kind of stuck holding them if that's where you're at. That one I still think there's a chance for that one, so I'm gonna hang on to it. Uh, Even though it's been beating us up, it's about as bad as the other one was, and it's a good stake in that one as well. So that would be a huge loss if we take it, but we don't. We've got plenty of time on that one, I believe. So we'll just wait that one out, and you know, it's got to get some news about some production, and they're building, I think, a production facility, uh, and so they're a long way from actually rolling a vehicle out. So once they start doing that, then maybe we'll see some good news and things will start turning up for that one. All right, but the EV stuff is been in the news a lot, so I think it's a good one to hang on to for sure. Uh, we did, like I said, we did buy some more Tesla. We added to the Tesla this week at 595 and 662. So watch that one Monday. We've got a good stake in that one. So I think we're going to be in real good shape come Monday with the news on that and the production levels being up and beating the expectations. That's what it's all about, is beating those expectations. So look for that good news on Monday. Other than that, looks like that's about it. As far as the year, again, uh, we are beating everything but the Dow. The Dow's up 8.32%, S&P up 7.02%, and the Nasdaq's up 4.54%. We are beating the Nas and the S&P. So, but we are sitting at 8.61% cash, and so anytime you're sitting at 8.61% cash, you've kind of got your hands tied if something bad happens in the market. So it's not a comfortable spot for me to be right now. But the only reason I went that deep in is because the ones I was holding were green, several of them that I bought recently, so I could sell them tomorrow and turn that into cash. So, and Tesla's going to be probably on the chopping block come Monday if it has a really good day. So watch for that one. We may unload it, but because we took such a loss on this last one, we may just hang on a little bit longer than I normally do. Just try to make up for some of those losses that we took this last week on that UVXY. But we'll see. We'll see how the market's doing. If that Nasdaq has a good week, we'll have a really good week in the portfolio with things like Tesla, uh, um, PayPal, Square, Apple. What's the other one? MSTR, which is Micro Strategies. So as long as the NASDAQ does good, we're going to have a pretty good week. And that's what we're hoping will happen. We did see it turn a little bit last couple of days. So hopefully to hang in there and do that. All right. Again, thanks for subscribing. If you haven't, go ahead and click this button right here and get that out of the way. And we'll check with you later on in the week. And happy Easter to you tomorrow. And have a great rest of your weekend. Thanks.